All right, you guys, we are back. I can't believe we're already on episode 24. We have an incredible guest here. David, thank you so much for jumping in with us.
Hey, James, I appreciate the opportunity, man. Here's the thing. I can't believe it's already the 1st of July, right? Time is flying by so quickly, man. I mean, where's everything going, right?
It's amazing. The first half of this year has been super rapid and fast, and I feel like, this show is kind of perfect for what we're going through right now with a little bit of a shift happening. And everywhere I've talked, are you starting to see a little bit of shift in your market too?
Yeah, we are. I'm here in the Dallas-Fort Worth market, and we saw a slowdown probably about a month ago. And here's the thing, James, I truly believe that this market that we're heading in is we're probably going to be heading into more skill-based type of market, right? And so I believe that agents got a little comfortable, these past 12 months. I mean, honestly, here's the thing. Even as a buyer's agent, man, I already knew what I needed to do to win offers, right? Other than like the offer amount, right? I already knew what needed to be done in the offer to win the offer. But now it's just like we're gonna have to educate and really, hone in on our skills to educate our buyers to help them make the best decision possible. So now we're kind of getting to that skill-based type of market. And so I know doing podcasts like these is going to help resonate with agents who are looking for direction and guidance in a market that we haven't seen in a couple years.
That's one of my biggest fears about what's happening right here is that, like I was fortunate enough to have great mentorship that put lead generation in place and systems in place that'll help us grow.
Yep.
But, we're going to run into an agent's going to be in a decision to do one of two things. One is they can go back to their previous career and continue to do things that way. Two, they're going to say to themselves, no, this is my dream. This is what I want to do. I want to work for myself. I want to build this. Well, if that's the case, they're going to have to look for mentorship. And that's really the role that I feel like we can help people with. It's changed my life. I mean, when I came in here,
Yeah.
they exploded my career. So yeah, man. So like, let's hear like, what's your story, man? You've been in this so short and you've already blown up. So like, let's hear about that story.
Yeah, man. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man. I wouldn't say, it took, it's that saying like it takes that like 10 years to, for that one night to change your life. I wasn't always successful, right? In my entrepreneurial, kind of venture started probably when I was in like high school, right? I would go into estate sales and I would go and buy stuff where I go flip it and make a profit on it, right? I was listening to a lot of podcasts around that time. I was reading a lot of self-developmental books. Gary Vee was a big inspiration whenever I was in high school, right? He kind of got me in love with the hustle. And then me getting inside estate sales and buying and flipping stuff and also waiting tables and bartending, I fell in love with the hustle and the grind and also real estate around that time, right? And around that time, I also learned, the principles of hard work and truly the value of honesty. And my passion for real estate grew after hearing, in all these podcasts and all these books I was reading, how all these self-made millionaires were creating wealth through real estate, right? And at the time I went to college, I spent 5 years at a community college, didn't know the direction that I really wanted to go. Eventually found myself in the school of business. And, it going into the school, it wasn't for me, right? It just wasn't for me. I don't know what it was. Like, I just didn't have the passion. I didn't have the spark. What was calling me was that grind kind of lifestyle, the entrepreneur kind of lifestyle. And so, I remember my first day on college, man. The professor, he was he kind of like sounded like Ferris Bueller days off. Did you remember that part? Did you ever
Yeah.
watch that movie where the professor was like very monotone, right? And so after my first class, man, I left college, even though I had 2 more classes to attend that day. I just left, and so real estate was always on the back of my mind. So ended up getting my license. Thought I was going to make a shitload of money. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face, Mike Tyson says. And so after attending the school of hard knocks, I don't tell people I went to university. I tell them I went to the school of hard knocks. I ended up joining a real estate sales team that actually put those systems in place for me, man. They taught me how to lead generate. They taught me how to become that agent, right? And so after doing this a few years, I would say probably around year 3 is when I really found my stride in the marketplace, man. I was calling a lot of for sale by owners and expired listings. And I mean, let's be honest, we don't have the best reputation in this market as far as, professionals, right? I think I saw, James, that on like the scale of like trustworthy professionals, like we're just right above used car salesmen.
Yep.
Right. And so whenever I realized this, I was like, man, I started to become determined to change the reputation people held for agents. And I always wanted to strive to improve that process of buying and selling. So I would go to seminars, I would go to conferences. Eventually, like around year 3 is when I joined EXP and partnered up with, Jay Kinder and Michael Reese, the co-founders of the National Association of Expert Advisors. And I went through their boot camp. I went through the Certified Home Selling Advisor boot camp and the Certified Home Buying Advisor boot camp as well. To just, training, just to do the training, man. Because I believe training is what you do, not something that you did, right? Navy SEALs train on a daily basis. Professional athletes train on a daily basis. Olympians train on a daily basis. So we need to be in that mindset that this is a training-based kind of career, right? Because this career is a moving target, right? There's always disruption. There's always market shifts, right? So we have to be proactive instead of reactive, right? And so, I just try to create the raving fans in my customers and clients, with doing all this and providing value back into my real estate marketplace, because I was so blessed with the amount of business and agents who support me. I created a private Facebook group where I'm trying to add value to agents like yourselves and other agents who are struggling, somebody who they can reach up to and look up to.
Yeah.
And so in doing this, I gained widespread recognition in the Dallas-Fort Worth marketplace. Ended up winning the hardest working realtor Rise and Grind award for 2021. So was super pumped about that. And people ask me like, David, why do you do what you do? It's just because I have a huge heart, and I just believe in leaders who I believe in creating leaders who create leaders, brother.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And I'm gonna shift off of that. I love that sign sitting behind you that rent is due every day.
That's it,
That
man.
is so crucial right here. All right, rent due. Success is never owned, only rented. See, I could only see the bottom half, so I'm like, this is perfect for a real estate podcast, right? Like that is so true. But now this is even deeper. This is perfect for a real estate agent podcast.
Yep. So I've got that. I've got the 2 certifications actually. I see you have like your success and stuff. I got one in the back right here.
I think it's
Yeah.
the same. It's the same one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just a different style. And also I've got I don't know if you ever attended like Tony Robbins. Have you ever attended one of Tony Robbins events?
Just at Build, I want to get out there with my wife and go to one of the big ones like Date with Destiny or something. That's something I definitely want to do. Have you been to one of those?
I've been to several. I've been to 3 in person. I've been to 1 virtual. And so that right there is like this is a broken board, right? And so whenever COVID hit, he held his virtually. And you would write on a board what you want to get removed from your life, and you went through this whole incantation, right? And so that actually says procrastination and excuses, and you have to break the board along the side with him while he's doing it on Zoom. It's pretty cool, man. The in-person events, man, like you cannot get that anywhere else, brother. I'm telling you, man, like the energy, the people. I met so many incredible people there that it changed my life. I actually started a Tony Robbins Dallas fan page Facebook group, and so I just started adding people in there because I wanted to be around like-minded individuals. And so Date with Destiny is on my vision board as well. I think I'm going to try to do the UPW in Florida this year as well.
The UPW?
Yeah, that's going to be in person. I think call it November, I believe.
Hell yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
Well, hey, man, let's dive in there. So this question can be approached by a few different ways, right? Like you can talk to another agent that's just starting. You can talk to yourself if you had the opportunity to start over today, or maybe you're relocating, right? Like regardless, we're just starting fresh. What are you going to do to get from 0 to 100,000 in real estate as fast as possible?
Yeah, great question, man. So knowing what I know now, right? I truly believe that modeling is a shortcut to success. Okay. Now after seeing, how valuable it is to be inside people's proximity is power. After attending, so many conferences and, just about buying every coaching program that I can get my hands on and visiting different office spaces of agents, I found one commonality that made all of them a trendsetter. And I would see the same people, right? It's just that there's a shortcut to success. Find somebody who has done something or is doing what you want to do and go out there and provide some value to them, add some value to their life, to ask them for coffee, ask them for lunch, and just ask them for mentorship, man. Find that person who's doing what you want to do, right? And model their success. I mean, I truly believe that that is the best way, because they can take what they've done in 5, 10 years and teach you what not to do, right? They can teach you those shortcuts, like, hey, you do this, do this, do this, right? And so you can actually, trim that down and build something within maybe 2 to 3 years based off their experience. That's the number one key thing that I would give a new agent. Find somebody, role models are great, but having an accessible mentor is even better, right? Somebody who's accessible, somebody who you can maybe jump on a phone call, somebody who's local, somebody who's willing to put in that time to pour into you.
Yep.
Right. It is difficult finding that right person, but I promise it's going to pay off once you finally do find that right person who's actually open to pouring value to them. And people reach out to me. I'm an open book. I love it. Here's the thing, when I joined real estate, I joined Keller Williams, and no bad talking Keller Williams. It was great for what it was at the time, but what I noticed is that when I was going into the office, I thought I was doing the right thing, right? Going into the office and kind of doing the motions of a real estate agent, but I noticed that the top producing agents were not in the office, right? I was actually rubbing shoulders with other new agents, and every time I would reach out for a question, it felt like I was bothering somebody. I'm a certified mentor within eXp Realty, and I love it. It's a passion of mine. Here's why: it's because I am truly trying to be that person who I wish I had when I was new. Somebody can reach out to, ask questions. And I always tell people there's no such thing as a dumb question, right? And so I'm striving to be that person so that I can help shortcut their success, and also just give back to my fellow agents.
I love this, man. And I'm gonna quote John Kitchens here, because he really made this make the most sense at shareholders for me. Was the role of a coach or a mentor is to collapse time. Right? This is
Yes.
exactly what you're saying, but it's in a consolidated way. Like, instead of taking 10 years to get to the career that you vision, get with the right people that can show you. And all of a sudden you have that career within 2, 3 years, which, as we know, it unlocks a new way of thinking. Like, you get to that point and you're like, oh, wow, I can really do this now. Like, I didn't even think about that, but now I can do this. You can constantly expand. So I freaking love that.
Yeah, brother. Yeah.
What do you feel like comes next? Right. So they got the mentor. What are some of the things that help you grow so fast?
Having this mindset shift, I'll drop a couple things that I truly found valuable and what I believe can help make you a trendsetter in the marketplace is, our mentors at EXP and the co-founders of the National Association of Expert Advisors, Jay Kinder and Michael Reese. Michael Reese actually taught me this principle, is that there's no such thing as money. And when I heard this, like, what the hell? Like, of course there is, man. I love that shit, right? Once I got my head wrapped around this, that money doesn't exist, it just kind of put everything into perspective. And I'm going to give a couple of examples. And so what I realized is that money is just a symbol of value. And the more value that we can create in our lives is the more money we will create. Right. And so what I noticed is that once I started to focus on bringing the most possible value to the people who I have the pleasure of being in business with, or who I have the pleasure of being in contact with, right, my life changed. Over this past 6 months, 8 months, I started to provide a shitload of value, not only to my clients and my customers, but also to real estate agents, right? And it's paid off tenfold, right? I'm getting referrals, randomly referrals, like, hey, you were suggested as the Dallas go-to, right? Or even all the value that I'm putting in my videos and my social media, right? I'm getting people reaching out to me on a daily basis, asking real estate questions, right? So I don't focus on making money. I focus on providing value where I can. So if you can grasp this concept, it's a Zig Ziglar quote: if you can help as many people get what they want, eventually you're going to get what you want, right? If you can focus on creating value for that one person, right, that can unlock a whole new opportunity for you, right? So let's say let's say there's somebody who in your network who can introduce you to new money, right? And this is something that Coach Burt teaches us, right? We have the pleasure of being coached by him. He says that if you find that one person that is of influence and can help unlock you to a whole new level of people, or introduce you a whole shitload of people, if you can provide value to that person and never ask for anything, I promise you, man, he's going to introduce you to the right people, or he's going to use you for your services. And he's going to go, if you do a great job, he's going to go rave about you, man. That's going to blow up your life. So, You know, there's no such thing as money. Just find opportunities to create value for somebody, and I promise you're going to get everything that you want.
Love it. I love it. I love it. And there's some people on here right now, guys. Like I definitely want to get some Q&A. So if you guys have any questions or anything
Yeah,
that you want to drop in the comments, drop those as we go. We're gonna keep going here for a while, but definitely
yeah,
start
let's do it.
dropping them in. Man, dude, like you really, yeah, you've been through this. Like, and even when you were telling your story, it brings me back, right? So like same story. I went to school, didn't know what I was going to school for. Ended up getting 2 business degrees, and I mean, ultimately never used either one, but um,
Thank God I dropped out, huh?
yeah, 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 yeah.
That seems to be like the common denominator. I don't know what it is. Like people, they're getting degrees and it's just not worth a shit right now. I believe that market is heavily saturated right now. They're just, you know, it's a commonality, right? It's just there's
Well, that's where the blessing is for what we do, right? Like we know people that have gone to school for 12 years, and I don't want to like completely throw everything out there, but like you can go to school for 63 hours and have the same salary for sure.
yes,
That's a no-brainer, and all you have to do is exactly what you just said, is find somebody to model. When you start, it is not time to innovate, right? Like when you get to the top, it's time to innovate. But until you get there, it's time to model and just take that and run with it. Because if you do the steps that the other person did to get to success, you're going to get there. It's pretty simple. But people quit before they get to the hard work, right? Like that grind and grit.
it
That's
seems
not
like yeah, it seems like when you're right there, man. You know, breakthroughs come right after breakdown. So if anybody's going through a breakdown right now, I promise you, you're on the brink of a breakthrough, and it's gonna take your whole life, you know, to a whole nother level.
Heck yeah, man. And I know that you're a beast on social media, right? So let's give some people like, of course, adding value, right? The
Yeah,
mindset's got to be coming from that place of contribution. But what are some of the tactical things? Like what are, planning or anything like that that they can do to focus on?
I got you, man. Yeah, I'm actually glad that you brought this up because another thing that I would suggest that it's probably the most important is I believe that the best marketer is always going to win. Okay, James. And you know, I would like to believe that I'm actually the best realtor in Dallas, but in fact, there's several of them, right? I know several of them, and so you know, there's a reason why one agent sells 40 houses a year versus one that sells 40, right? And so I believe that, you know, if you learn the principles of marketing in the right order, you know, you're going to have the guide to the ultimate success. And so if I can give a couple of tactical items that I've learned as far as marketing, here's a few. Number one is using the force multiplier effect. Okay. Are you aware what the force multiplier effect is?
No.
Yeah. So it sounds fancy, man, but it's just basically saying using every possible marketing channel so that you're seen everywhere, right? I believe that the best real estate that you can own is not only the real estate physically, but also the real estate of somebody's mind. Okay.
Yep.
I'm not looking for market share anymore. I'm looking for mind share, right? So if you open Instagram, if you open Facebook, if you open TikTok, I'm trying to get onto YouTube, man. It's just time consuming, but you know, I want people to see me everywhere and anywhere so that when they think of a Dallas real estate agent or looking to refer somebody to Dallas, they're going to think of me. Okay. So using the force multiplier effect, you know, there was this book that really changed my life. It's called Building an Empire by Brian Carruthers. Have you read of it?
Yeah.
Have you read it? Okay.
Yep.
So there's a section in there that says that Don King, right, was Mike Tyson's promoter. And this guy just promoted like crazy, right? And so I took that concept of shit, let me be a promoter, right? Like people at the club, promoters at the club, what do? Man, they're handing out flyers, they're just promoting, man, they're posting everywhere, right? And so when I grasped this concept of just promoting, in fact, Don King actually made more money than Mike Tyson just by promoting, right? So when I grasped this concept, man, let me post everywhere and anywhere. Here's the thing. It is time consuming, no doubt. It is a job, but it's paying off. I guarantee you that, right?
100%.
So number one, using the force multiplier effect. Number two is have a unique selling proposition. You know, what makes you different, right? Like, why should I choose you? Like if you were right there next to another agent, James, and they said, okay, you know, if a seller said, hey James, why should I use you instead of somebody else, right? Or somebody that's asked me, hey David, why should I use you to sell my house versus using, you know, John Smith, right? I have a unique selling proposition, right? Something that gets people's attention. My unique selling proposition when it comes to listing properties is Hey, James, that's a really great question. I have a proven and repeatable system backed by market research to help you sell your property for up to 18% more than using traditional real estate methods. Now, because of my unique background, my unique mentors, and my unique marketing plan, right, we're able to net you up to 18% more than the average, real estate agent can. Now, if I'm able to show you this, James, tomorrow at 2 o'clock, what's stopping us from meeting, right? You think if I told that to somebody that they're going to say no?
No.
Like shit. I mean, shit. Hell yeah. Like, would it be surprising, James, to know that, homeowners are leaving 18% of their equity on the table?
Man.
Great. Let me show you why. So having that unique selling proposition, man, is what's going to differentiate yourself from the marketplace. And I started putting that in my social media, right? I believe that whenever you post something on social media, that's marketing. You're marketing yourself, right? So and I think of marketing, you need to position yourself differently, right? So using these little I've got about two more, but using these little tips is going to help, separate yourself from the competition. Because if you post like, hey, just sold, congratulations to my seller, right? Okay, that's boring. Every agent is doing that. But hey, if you tell a story, James, facts tell, but stories sell. If you tell a story on what happened, how you got there, and then have that, hey, if you're looking for the same results and looking to sell your property for up to 18% more, let's talk today, right? That's another principle that I was going to tell you about, was having a call to action. If you don't tell people what to do, they're not going to do it, right? So at the end of all my posts, I've got a call to action, like, or most of my posts, right? Hey, if you're looking to sell your property up to 18% more, and get the same results as James, reach out to me at, call me or text me at, this number, DM me, right? Having a call to action. You need to tell people what to do so they can reach you, right? It's just like, where can people find you? What's the best place? Because I've had people like, damn, like, you're too busy, or like, you're doing so much on social media. Like, I feel like I can't reach you, right? So I want to tell people, no, reach out to me anytime. Like, I'm an open book. Like, I'm open and willing to help. I'm open to assisting you, right? So I want to tell people what to do and by giving them a call to action.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I want to say hi to Rebecca. She jumped over here.
Hey, what's up, Rebecca? Oh, Rebecca's a badass. I love her to death.
Yeah, she is. Yes, she is. And she's like, you talk about value. That's someone who's been crucial in me changing my life. Her and No Sway have helped me so much along the way. And yeah, I love you guys. Good to see you. I'm glad you're on.
I hope she's feeling better. I heard that she got sick over the shareholder summit.
She jumped in the leadership meeting like this. She looked amazing though. That's for sure. And she didn't look like she was feeling it. But yeah, man. So
that's commitment. That's commitment.
100%. And I love that you dove into the NAEA and the CHSA, CHSB or BA. What there's a ton of other assets. Have you dove into some of the other ones? Like agent CEO and
I have. I've took an agent to CEO once. It's been a while. It's been like 2 years, and COVID really just kind of messed up everything as far as timeframes and what I can remember. Right. I know that they're hosting another agency CEO like in a couple of months.
Yeah,
I don't plan on going to that, but whenever it's back in Texas, I will for sure. They're actually hosting an NAEA boot camp in December, actually in Frisco, Texas, man. So if anybody looking to get certified home selling advisor, it's going to be, I believe, December 5th or sometime in the first week of December of 2022.
I got to put that on the calendar. Heck yeah, man. Dude, I appreciate you jumping on here. And guys, I see there's still a few people on. If you have any questions, let's drop them in the chat. And if not, man, we'll get this wrapped up. But what are some things you want to leave them on?
Success leaves clues. If somebody is successful, they're doing something right. And honestly, what I found is that a lot of successful people, they're doing the same thing, right? They're doing, it's the hard work, it's the consistency, right? There was a post in Workplace for Jerick Robbins, that's Tony Robbins' son. I hope I'm pronouncing his first name correctly. But he had this graph, right? And it had like little flames, right? And number one said, consistency, and it had the flames like the same. The flames were, it's like the fire emoji, right? The flames were the same size, right? Week 1, week 2, week 3. But if you operate from consistency, right, your flame's going to be always constant. But if you operate from intensity, right, week one, the flame was like real like huge, right? And then week two started to diminish in size. So, the consistency, right? It doesn't get easier, but everybody gets better. I can promise you that. So success leaves clues. We're all doing the same thing, right? It's the consistency. It's the social media. It's providing value in the marketplace. So just go out and find that right person that you can go off and model. I want to give one more tactical piece of advice that has been truly helping me with my marketing efforts. It's the concept of social proof. Okay. What I've started doing recently, James, is that I started to prep my listing presentations and my buyer presentations. I started to prep them like, hey, whenever we close, you're going to give me a review on Google, and you're also going to give me a live video testimonial, right? And I started to incorporate live videos, or not live, right? Because some people, don't want to go live, but I started to record like a video testimony of our experience, right? And so I'll put that on my social media. I'll put that on my YouTube. And so that actually when I'm following, look, I can talk about myself and how great I am all day, but if you have somebody else doing it, it edifies you, right? And so what I did was I started putting those concepts on YouTube, right? And so when I'm following up with somebody, like, hey, James, I was thinking about our conversation the other day. I know you're looking to sell. I want to send you this quick video of our recent experience with Rebecca Soto and selling her property for up to 18% more. Please make that commitment to watch this when you get a chance. And so I'll send the video to them. It does the heavy lifting for you, right? It's the social proof. It's testimonials. If you add testimonials to your marketing, you're going to influence more people to use you for your real estate needs.
Dude, you dropped the golden nugget of real estate in there too, is that before you even start, you place that programming in, right? Like
Yep.
you drop that expectation in there as I'm going to do a job so great for you that when we actually end this, you're going to jump on camera and leave me a video testimonial. So like, one, you're building confidence, but two, you've already set the expectation for where you get there. And that one thing applies to everything in real estate. If you can get good at what you just said, plan here, do, plan here, do, and you've already set it all up, that's how you make this process as easy as possible for people.
Yeah, setting expectations, man, and just listen. You're the market expert, right? You're the doctor. You prescribe the prescription. You tell people what to do, right? We need to raise our standards, right? I go through this training and all the social media that I'm doing. It helps leverage me and position me as that market expert, right? And so, listen, all this, James. I love when clients are like, they respect my time. Don't you love when you get those clients like, oh my God, I know you're busy, but hey, I had a question, or
Yep.
sorry to bother you on the weekend, right? Those are the people who see you as that market expert. They respect you. Now, I know you get those clients sometimes that just, call you on the weekend or text you late at night. Those people they see you as a commonality, right? But everything that I'm doing is position me and leveraging me as that market expert. And so like, that's what I'm striving to do, right? Is to create authority in the marketplace so that we can attract the right people, and I'm going to repel the wrong people.
Yeah. I love it. I love it, man. Well, hey, there's no questions here. David, I know you're busy, and I
Yeah.
appreciate you taking the time to jump on here. This was awesome. There's probably 10 or 15 gold nuggets in here that we're going to pull out. Yeah, man. Thank you. Thank you for your contribution.
Now, James, I appreciate you having me on, man. If anybody is looking, to grow their business or is interested in learning more, reach out to James, reach out to myself. We're more than happy to help. If anybody's looking to connect with me more, you can find me on Facebook or Instagram. It's my first and last name, David Bentinck. My last name is pretty unique. I promise you, nobody else has this last name. It's actually of European royalty descent. So I'm actually waiting for a call. Say, hey, man, you're next in line for the throne. So I'm just doing real estate in the meantime. So anybody looking to connect with me and pick my brain, I'm an open book. Would love to pour into anybody.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much. And guys, keep crushing it out there, and we'll see you next week.